Thank you for deciding to join me today for practice. Today we're going to do a 1-hour practice. The first half of class will be more Vinyasa style, a little bit more challenging, maybe slightly faster in order to warm up the body and hone the mind. And then we'll transition into some yin style poses and postures in the second half. So go ahead and join me on your mat in a comfortable seated position. We're going to start with some breathing and maybe some light meditation. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. And at first, just notice the breath. No need to control or change the breath. Just notice how it feels. Maybe notice the temperature of the breath. Maybe notice any scent that you can pick up. And then start to bring your focus inward, noticing where the breath is touching your body. Are you breathing more in your chest? More in your diaphragm? Just notice the body parts that naturally expand and contract as you breathe. And now start to manage the breath, intentionally making the inhales and the exhales a little bit longer. Trying to keep the breath balanced so that your inhales are the same length as your exhales. As we transition to yin later in our practice, the exhales might become longer to help you release into those poses, but for now, try to keep the breath balanced. Some of the things that I notice when trying to do this is the inhale is a little bit more challenging because I have to fill up more than I'm used to. And the exhale often, it requires a little bit of push or pressure because if I exhale naturally, my exhale is usually a lot longer than my inhale. So to try to keep them balanced, to try to regulate that balance, I have to put in the slightest bit of effort, the slightest bit of focus. Take three more breaths. And then gently open your eyes. If your legs are crossed or you have one leg in front of the other, go ahead and switch which leg is in front. And then inhale, hands towards the sky. Exhale, one hand to your side and a gentle side bend. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, grow a little taller, and then the other side. Exhale, back to center. One more time, either side, but we're gonna hold it a little bit longer. If your elbow can touch the ground, that's fine. Just make sure that the shoulder of the floating arm stays rolled open. We don't want to sacrifice by closing the shoulder in order to reach the elbow to the ground. One more breath. And on your exhale, back to center. Inhaling tall and then other side. On your next exhale, back to center. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, this time we'll twist. Right away, come back to center. Inhaling, finding length in the spine, and then exhaling, twisting. Very gentle twist at the beginning of class. Back to center. Inhale, grow tall, reach through the crown of your head, and then exhale, twist. And again, we'll hold on this side. Still being aware of your breath, still using your inhales to lengthen the spine, and then exhales to gently deepen the twist. On your next exhale, back to center. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist to the other side and hold. On your next exhale, come back to center. Then exhale, hands to your heart. Go ahead and roll over onto your knees and hands, making sure that the hands are right underneath the shoulders. Something I noticed with my own practice recently is I have a tendency to put the hands about a foot or a hand length too far in front of me. So I'm going to try to shorten the stance and really stack my shoulders on top of the wrists. Let's do a little wrist warm up first. First, slow circles, or if you prefer something like a figure eight, that's fine too. Switching directions. Come back to center and bring the wrists closer together and the fingers pointing in opposite directions. And you can either rock side to side. This is really intense for me, so you don't need a whole lot of movement, or you can add those circles back in. If you're doing circles, switch sides. Back to center, and then bring the fingers back to the front of the mat and shift your weight back just so there's not as much weight on the hands, but we're not shifting all the way back to child's pose. And I want you to push into the fingers and pick the wrists up off the ground. Release, into the fingers, and pick the wrists off, and then release. Twice more. Just as a little reminder to not dump your weight into the wrists, instead to create almost that cupping action and push into the fingertips and the knuckles of the fingers instead. On your next exhale, go ahead and tuck your toes and push back to push back to down dog. If you want to take some cat-cows there instead, you're not quite ready for your first down dog, that's fine. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. I want you to think about lengthening through the tailbone first. So if that means the knees need to stay bent,
That's perfectly fine. And if you like a little bit of movement here, maybe walking the heels to the ground, or I like to stretch the toes by lifting up onto the balls of my feet and then releasing back down. All good options. Wherever you are, settle into your first down dog. Again, pushing into the fingers and the knuckles, not the wrists. Trying to keep the shoulders away from the ears and reaching through the tailbone. On your next exhale, gently walk the hands back to the back of the mat. Soften the knees and relax the upper body onto the thighs. If you'd like to wrap the hands around your forearms, that's fine. If you would like to interlock the fingers and place them at the base of your neck, a little extra weight to lengthen the cervical spine. Release your hands and gently walk back out to plank. Inhale, and on your exhale, as slow as you can, lower to the ground. If you need to come to your knees, totally fine. Once the body is connected to the ground, maybe bring the fingertips a little bit wider than your mat. Inhale, center, and release. This time, rise up with your right shoulder. Inhale, and as you release, keep the left shoulder lifted. Opposite direction. And then center one more time. Release your hands back down towards your rib cage and gently push back to down dog. One more inhale. And this time on your exhale, step forward, coming to forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back, hands come to your shins or even your thighs. Exhale, release, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, growing tall through the fingertips, but not necessarily a back bend. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Focus on length rather than a back bend. Grow tall. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend through the crown of the head. Exhale, release. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release, and gently step to plank. And let's hold our first plank for about 5 breaths, maybe rocking back and forth, a little extra wrist warm up, a little extra toe stretch, squeezing the belly button towards the spine, maybe the tiniest bit of a scapular push-up. And on your next exhale, come all the way down, nice and slow, elbows right by your sides, knees to the ground if you need, and release. Inhale, cobra. to the ground. And then when you're ready, push back into down dog. If you want to push up to plank first, get a little extra strength, that's fine. One more breath in down dog. And on your next exhale, gently step forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands back to your heart center. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. And step back with the opposite foot this time. No hold in plank, just exhale through chaturanga, and if you're ready and warmed up, you can come into up dog or you can stick with cobra. On the exhale, push back, down dog. 3 breaths here. Maybe noticing that the legs are starting to work towards straight and the heels sinking a little bit deeper to the ground. On your next exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, picking up the pace a little bit. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. This time, if you'd like to jump back right into chaturanga, that's an option. If you would like to step back and flow through plank, that's perfectly fine too. We will all flow through our vinyasa and make our way to down dog. 3 breaths here. On your next exhale, jump or step back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, chaturanga, or stepping through plank. But everyone making their way to down dog. Inhale this time, one foot comes up towards the sky. Reach through the heel, keep the hips square. And on your exhale, you're gonna take that leg behind the standing leg and shift forward as though you're coming into table. Tap the knees on the ground and extend back, split down dog. Exhale, step the floating foot through and come into your first warrior one. Now if this feels really tight in your hips, you can walk your front foot a little bit farther out to the side so that you have more space to square the hips towards the front of the mat. One more breath, and on your exhale, hands float to the ground. Inhale, step to plank, and then exhale, flow through. And if you want to make that a little more fluid, you can. We'll all meet in down dog. Inhale, the opposite foot comes up. Reach through the heel, hips are square, and then bring the knee to the outside of the standing knee and tap. So you're making eagle legs. Back to split down dog. Exhale, step forward, coming into warrior one. One more breath.
on your exhale, release to the ground and flow back to down dog. Three breaths and down dog. On your next exhale, jump, step, back to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach to the crown of the head. Maybe the fingertips are getting a little closer to the ground. Exhale, fold. And again, vinyasa of your choice, whether that includes a jump back, a step back, whatever works for you. Once in down dog, inhale, one foot comes up. Exhale, behind the standing leg, tap the knees, and then rise back up. Exhale, step the foot all the way through, finding warrior one. On your next breath, sweep the arms so that one arm crosses on top of the other for eagle arms. And start by reaching the fingertips towards the sky. Now you can add a little back bend if that feels good. And then on your exhale, leading with your belly button, roll forward towards the ground, coming into humble warrior with eagle arms. Rise back up, gently unwind the arms, inhaling, warrior one, and then exhaling to the ground and flowing through your vinyasa. Opposite side, lift the heel, keep the hips square, and then bend on the exhale, tapping the knees, back towards the sky. Exhale, step the foot through, warrior one. Take a breath to feel confident in your stance. And then this time, opposite arm is on top for eagle arms on the other side. Inhale, reach the fingertips towards the sky. Maybe sink a little bit deeper into that front leg. And on your next exhale, leading with the belly button, rounding at the last moment so that you get the most length in your spine. Humble warrior. Rise back up when you're ready. Unwind the arms. Reach tall, warrior one. And then flow through your vinyasa, making your way to down dog. And we will stay for 3 breaths. One more inhale, and on the exhale, jump or step back to the front of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, jump, step, and flow.
From down dog, inhale, one foot comes up. Exhale, tap the knees. Inhale. Exhale, step through, warrior one. This time on your next exhale, you're gonna reach forward and step into standing splits. As much as you can reach. It's okay if the floating leg doesn't go particularly high. We're gonna do Shiva squats. So 3 times, exhale, bend deep into the standing knee, and tap the floating knee to your ankle, calf, back of the knee, whatever you can reach. Inhale, extend, find a little bit more length. And then again, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap. Inhale, extend, and hold. If you'd like, you can wrap one or both hands around the standing leg. And then on your next exhale, gently step back. Inhaling up, warrior one. Exhale, flow. And if you'd like to add some strength challenge, you can keep that leg floating as you flow through your vinyasa. Opposite foot, inhale towards the sky. Exhale, tap the knees. Inhale, extend. Exhale, step all the way through. Rising up, taking one breath in warrior one. And then right away, stepping forward into standing splits. Take an inhale, reach as high as you can. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, a little bit more length. Exhale, tap the knee. Inhale, last time. Tap the knee. And then inhale and hold. One more breath, and on your exhale, gently step back, inhaling warrior one. Exhale, flow to down dog. Again, keeping the foot lifted if you like that extra strength challenge. Three breaths in down dog. One more inhale and exhale. Make your way to the front of your mat. Inhaling flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Grow tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna flow to our peak pose, which you guessed it, is eagle. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Jump or step. Make your way to down dog. Inhale, let's start with one foot in the air. Adding the tap. Inhale, back to split down dog. And then step forward, warrior three. Oh, excuse me, warrior one, rather. When you're ready, flow the arms in a big circle into eagle arms. Don't worry about which arm is on top. It's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Inhale, extend, slight back bend. Exhale, let's go ahead and find warrior three. Why not? I mentioned it, so I might as well add it to the transition. Slowly rise up, bringing the floating knee in front of you. It's okay if you wobble.
down as deep as you can. The deeper you sink into the standing leg, the easier it will be to wrap the toes around the calf of the ankle. Gently release the bind of the legs and step back to warrior one. If you want to flow through warrior three again, you can. We're all going to release the hands. Warrior one, big inhale. Exhale, flow to the other side. On the inhale and down dog, lift the opposite leg. Exhale, tap the knees. Inhale, extend. Exhale, step all the way through warrior one. Take an inhale and then exhale, wrap the opposite arm on top. And if you're not sure, you'll be able to feel it. One side will feel loose and the other side will feel quite tight. The loose side you already did. So inhale, let's find that extension and a slight back bend. Exhale, warrior three. Rise up. Try to keep your balance. Float the knee and then sink it over and around the standing leg, coming into eagle. Release and stand up, floating the leg, and either step back or flow through warrior three first. Coming into warrior one with eagle arms, and then big release through the shoulders. Inhale to the sky, exhale, flow through, and make your way to down dog. 3 breaths in down dog. On your next exhale, gently jump, step, float. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, we're going to do a little bit more balance and a little bit more core work with eagle. So go ahead and find your balance on one side. Add a twist first. So opposite hand to the knee, opposite hand behind. Gentle twist. We're not going to be here long. Release your hold on the knee and come back so that the arms are at a T. Inhale. So now we're going to do proper eagle. So if your right leg is lifted right now, then your left arm is going to go on top. And then that right leg will reach over and wrap around. And you can stay here like we did eagle before, or you can contract the abs and try 3 eagle taps. Elbows to the knee. Think about actually trying to squeeze the core, create space, and get the elbows beyond the knee. Good, rise back up, release. And then because we're here, why not open up that knee and come into tree pose. Remember, in tree pose, your foot can be on your thigh or your calf, or even big toe on the ground, but no weight on your knee, please. Find stillness. And let that stillness of the body give your mind a rest. Find stillness in your thoughts. One more breath, and gently release the foot to the ground, hands to your side, mountain. Release the shoulders. You can shake them out, you can roll them out, or you can simply reach through the fingertips and feel the stretch across the top of your shoulders. Other side. Inhale, pick up the opposite knee. And let's start with that gentle twist. Again, not really going into the deepest version of this pose, just activating the core a little bit and maybe stretching through the front part of your shoulders since we've done a lot of stretching in the back. Go ahead and bring the hands to a T. So again, if your left foot is lifted, then the right arm goes on top. Inhale and exhale, wrap that floating leg down and around. If you need to brace yourself with a big toe on the ground, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the belly button towards the spine and tap. Twice more. Getting a stronger core and a bigger range of movement each time. Last time. Rise back up. Release. Find your balance. And then let's find tree on the other side. I know it feels like a long hold, but it's really only about 10 breaths or so. And just use this time as a mini meditation opportunity to just start to slow things down a little bit. Not pushing yourself quite as much and letting that release of the exercise you've done so far to permeate into the mind. Releasing your thoughts and finding a quiet, still mind. One more breath. And release the foot, release the hands. Again, your choice for where to place the hands, but standing up tall, finding length in the shoulders, finding length in the spine. On your next inhale, hands rise up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, gently step back to down dog. No vinyasa unless you really, really want one. Pick up one foot, slip down dog. And exhale, we're gonna tap it just like we did in our flow, but this time we're gonna rest both knees on the ground, kick the feet out towards the edges, and sit back. Coming into cow face pose. So from cow face pose, you can choose to not add the arms and simply fold forward. If you would like to add the arms, one arm reaches up and then pats yourself on the back. The other arm reaches behind. And if you can, Grab a hold of the fingers or maybe use a strap. You can stay upright or you can choose to fold forward. Gently release the hands and use your hands to push yourself back up to upright. And then take the bottom leg and bring that ankle a little bit closer to your rear end and pop the knee of the top leg up. And we're going to do another twist here, but a little bit deeper. We've warmed up enough through the core. So inhale, exhale, hook the elbow, and start to twist using your inhales to grow through the spine, through the crown of the head, and then using your exhales to support the spine as you twist deeper. Now, if you would like an even more intense twist, you can choose to bind. You can either wrap through the leg or around the shin. It's your choice. One more breath. And gently release. Stack the knees again. And we're going to roll forward, coming back into our split down dog. And then release your floating leg. Find your center again. And we'll go to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Behind the standing leg. Tap the knees. And then release the knees all the way to the ground. Feet go wide and gently step back. And then if you need to adjust the feet to bring them a little farther forward, you can. It really just depends what's comfortable in your hips and your knees. If you need to bring the ankles closer to your hips, that's okay too. But do your best to align the knees as much as possible. Opposite hand reaches up and behind. If you're adding the arms, one side is usually much tighter than the other side. This is much tighter for me. So maybe fold forward or maybe stay upright, depending on what works for your body on this side. Gently release the arms, and if you're folded, use the arms to push yourself back up to upright. And then adjust your ankles so that you can come into that twist on the other side. Inhaling up first to find length, and then exhale, twisting. Using your elbow as just the tiniest bit of leverage to twist. Remember, we're not forcing, it's more like noticing that the pressure is there and allowing that intention or that sensation to guide you into a deeper twist. One more breath. And then release your twist, stack your knees again, and roll forward, coming back into that split down dog. Release both feet to the ground, readjust, recenter your down dog. Inhale, and then on your exhale, soften the knees to the ground, and you can either sweep the feet to the side or cross your ankles and roll back. Keeping one leg extended, bring the opposite foot in, allowing the knee to fall out, and we're just going to do a gentle fold forward. Inhale, exhale, lead with the backs of your hands and the backs of your elbows so that you can just relax and release into the stretch. Rather than when we put our palms down, we have a tendency to extend and really make this a more active stretch, which there's nothing wrong with that, but we're going to try to start to wind down a little bit. One more breath. And on your exhale, I want you to drag your knuckles and round yourself back up to upright. Maybe take a big shoulder roll and then switch sides. Inhale, grow tall and then fold, leading with your belly button and then relaxing over that front leg. On your next exhale, drag the knuckles and roll up one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll do it with both legs. And if you have a strap handy, the strap will help keep your feet flexed, but also allow you to relax the upper body. If you don't have a strap, that's fine. You can do it with me. Inhale. Exhale, belly button, chest, forehead, elbows, and fingertips. One more breath. And exhale, roll up, squeeze with the belly button so your core is strong. Grow tall and maybe add a shoulder roll. And then we are going to roll down onto our mat. And then we're going to roll over onto our stomachs. So if you have a particular transition that you'd like to use instead, totally fine. We've done a lot of shoulder opening of the back part of the shoulder, but almost no opening of the front. So let's give our chest and the front part of our shoulders one more stretch. Bring both the hands to a T. Gently start to roll over onto one shoulder so that you're in a rather deep chest opener. And then if you would like, you can bring one foot behind you. I actually find that to be more supportive, but that might be because my shoulders are more open. So if this is not comfortable for you, you can keep the feet stacked, or you can even bring the foot in forward, in front of the bottom leg. If you do have the foot behind, what the heck? Why not? Let's add a quad stretch. And again, this is totally optional. So if you don't feel balanced, if you can't relax and release into this pose, then you do not have to add on some of the extra challenges. You can stay and just focus on opening up the heart and shoulder on that side. One more breath, and gently release. yourself back to center, maybe off to the other side slightly so you have space. And then we're gonna roll over, opening up the chest and heart on the other side. Again, maybe propping up that back foot to help with balance, or to add some challenge and some intensity into the posture. If you would like to add the quad stretch, gently reach for the floating leg and add a little bit of stretch in the quad and the hip flexor. Gently release your hold on the foot if you added the quad stretch. And then we're going to roll back onto our stomachs. And then you're going to take the arms in front and cross them underneath your chest, which might feel rather odd, but it's a good final stretch for the upper back. Take your top arm and release it first in front of you, and then to the side, and then let yourself roll open into a final twist, tucking the knees up and maybe bringing both shoulders to the ground. So it's just a fun alternative way of getting into a supine twist. You do need quite a lot of space. As you can see, I have clearly left the premise of my mat. That's okay. I like doing yoga in a way that takes you off your mat. I like that it's kind of a metaphorical representation of breaking the boundaries that I hope you are breaking in class anyways, mental and physical boundaries. One more breath here. And then you're going to take that arm and bring it back. Maybe give yourself a high five. Extend the legs and roll back onto the shoulder. And then we're going to do the other side. So opposite arm underneath. Both arms first, stretching the upper back. And then take the top arm, reach it out in front first, then out to the side, and then roll yourself open, bringing the knees up so that the knees and the hips are at a 90-degree angle, supine twist on the other side. Bring your head back to center. Both shoulders and hands stay on the ground this time. Gently walk your knees to center, and then you're probably going to have to do a little shimmy to get back onto your mat. That's fine. Take whatever final poses feel good for you. So maybe that's happy baby. Maybe you like a reclined butterfly. Maybe a typical close of practice for you includes some back bends. So extend the hips into bridge. Whatever your final pose is, let's hold here for 3 more breaths. And then whichever pose you were in, gently release the body to the ground, extending the legs, letting the arms open as wide as you like to either side of your mat. Again, not being restrained to the confines of your mat. Close your eyes. And let's settle into Shavasana. And we'll be in Shavasana for about 10 to 15 breaths. Release your control and management of the breath and let the breath come back to its natural state. Come back to the observation of the breath rather than trying to manipulate or change the breath. Start to reconnect mind and body. Pulling your consciousness back into your body, noticing how the body feels. Maybe noticing where each point of your body is touching the ground. And then become aware of your ability to move. Fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, elbows, knees, and eventually making your way back up to a seated position. Maybe coming to your side first, or rocking back and forth and coming up to that seated position. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed that class, and I hope you have a